So today I decided we're going to do Dave Batista, go into like the overview of him and then go into his career. So this might be a bit of a long video compared to like the half an hour when the shorts do. So yeah, we're going to go into like his early career, and if you see this one, it's because he was a bit on interview. So yeah, we're going to get into that. We might go into his actor career depending on how long it's going to be. Let's start with the overview. So Batista began his wrestling career in 1999, signed WWE in 2000. From 2002 to 2010, he gained fame under the ring name Batista. Initially as a member of Evolution, amongst other championships, Batista would go on to win the WWE Championship twice and the World Heavyweight Championship 4 times. His first reign as World Heavyweight Champion was the longest in this title's history. He also won the 2005 and 2014 Royal Rumble matches, and subsequently headlined WrestleMania 21 and WrestleMania XXX, with the former being one of the top 5 highest grossing pay-per-views events in wrestling history. He retired from wrestling after WrestleMania 35 in 2019. As an actor, he is known for portraying Drax in Marvel Cinematic Universe and Robin in Dune and its 2024 sequel. He has additionally starred in Spectre, Blade Runner 2049, Final Score, Master Z, IP Man Legacy, Army of the Dead, Glass Onion, The Knife Out Mystery, Knock at the Cabin, and Parachute, and The Last Showgirl. In the industry peers and others consider Batista as one of the best wrestlers turned actors of all times. In his early life, he was born in Washington, D.C., the son of Donna Ray and hairdresser David Michael Batista. His mother is of Greek descent and his father was born Filipino immigrants. His parental grandfather served in the Philippine military, worked as a taxi driver, barber, and held other jobs to feed the family. Batista's mother later came out as lesbian, and he has said that he's lived his life in poverty and had a hard life, which included exposure to violent crime at an early age. Before reaching the age of 9, 2 bodies found in his front lawn and another one nearby. As young as the age of 13, he began stealing cars. By the age of 17, he was estranged from his parents and living on his own. However, he later said that I am proud of my parents. They are good, honest, hard-working folk, and they taught me the values of working hard. Batista worked as a nightclub bouncer until he was arrested after a fight that left 2 patrons injured, one of whom was knocked unconscious. After the trial, he was sentenced to 1 year probation. He worked as a lifeguard before deciding to pursue a career in bodybuilding, which he credits to saving his life. At the age of 30, after having a breakdown from the shame he felt for having to ask a co-worker to lend money so he could buy Christmas presents for his children, he saw a lucrative career in professional wrestling and decides to pursue it. So, Batista tried out for WCW's Power Plant, where the trainer Dwayne Bruce told him that he would never make it in the wrestling business. Then he went to the WWF, who advised him to train with Afa Hawaii at the Wild Simone Training Center, where he was trained and later competed in the Hawaii World of Extreme Wrestling promotion. He wrestled his debut match on the ring name Khan on October 3rd, 1999, less than 3 months before his 31st birthday. He also trained with Maurice Crump and Muay Thai and Eskrima in Ohio Valley Wrestling. Upon signing in WWF in 2000, Batista was sent to Ohio Valley Wrestling, the WWF developmental territory. He made his OVW debut later that year under the name Latvian, where he immediately joined forces with Sin as a member of the Disciples of Sin stable, and then he went undefeated until he began beating at being beaten at Christmas Chaos by Kane with the help of Stone Cold Steve Austin. He later won the OVW Heavyweight Championship from the Machine Doug Basham before losing the belt to the Prototype a few months later. A few months later, Batista left OVW and after he was promoted to the main roster of WWE. While still in OVW, Batista began appearing on non-televised WWE events. He began his televised career in WWE on May 9, 2002 on the episode of SmackDown as Deacon Batista, a heel enforcer for Reverend Devon. He made his WWE in-ring debut in a tag team match, teaming Devon against Farouk and Randy Orton, pinning Orton. Over several weeks, Orton tried to beat Devon and Batista with different partners, but ultimately lost each time. Batista suffered his first loss in the match against Rikishi after Devon accidentally punched him, allowing Rikishi to take advantage and pin Batista. Batista and Devon argued over the forthcoming weeks, with Batista eventually turning on Devon on the November 14th episode of SmackDown. Batista defeated Devon to end their feud. After splitting with Devon, he was assigned to Raw and was named Batista. He landed himself with Ric Flair and feuded with Kane, whom he defeated at Armageddon. In January 2003, Batista joined Triple H, Ric Flair and Randy Orton to form the heel stable Evolution. Batista, however, was sidelined for much of 2003 after he tore his right tricep muscle at Raw live event in a tag team match alongside Orton against the Dudley Boys. While training after the injury, Batista retore his triceps, extending his stay on the sidelines. Batista made his return, interfering in a match between Goldberg and Shawn Michaels. At Armageddon, Batista and Ric Flair became World Tag Team Champions after winning a Tag Team Turmoil match. While Triple H won the World Heavyweight Championship and Randy Orton the Intercontinental Championship, Batista and Flair held the titles until February 16th, 2004, when they were defeated by Booker T and Rob Van Dam. They later defeated Booker T and Van Dam on an episode of Raw to regain the titles before losing to Chris Benoit and Edge. In late 2004, the relationship between Batista and Triple H began to deteriorate in kayfabe. After the loss to Chris Jericho, Triple H verbally insulted Batista. Batista teased leaving Evolution that night, but declared that he was still part of Evolution and that they tricked everyone. Despite this ploy, Batista began behaving more like a face over the next few weeks in comparison to the Evolution heel tactics. One particular moment saw Batista express disgust as Triple H and Ric Flair boasted about how they intimidated and beat up Jim Ross, Danny Hodge and Stacy Keibler. Regardless, he continued to show his loyalty to Triple H and Evolution by running down to the ring and can't read today apparently, assisting them in the matches. As 2005 began, Triple H realised the possibility of Batista becoming a threat to the World Heavyweight Championship. Triple H suggested that he do not enter the Royal Rumble, claiming that it would be selfish of him to do so, and simply to focus on Triple H retaining the title. Batista entered anyway and went on to win the Royal Rumble, earning the right to participate in the main event of WrestleMania 21 against the world champion of his choice. On February 14th, an episode of Raw, an attempt to persuade Batista to challenge JBL for the WWE Championship and challenger John Cena in a triple threat match rather than him. Triple H consorted a scheme to have Batista run over in a limousine resembling the one that was used by JBL. Initially, Batista did not want help from Evolution and saving him from the oncoming vehicle. Batista became aware that the plot while what was I saying? Oh, I just skipped a lot there. From Evolution and saving Evolution and wanted to confront JBL by himself. There we go. On track. Triple H insisted that Evolution stick together and accompany Batista anyway, saving him from the oncoming vehicle. Batista became aware of the plot and sneakily eavesdropping on a fellow Evolution members and signed the contract guaranteeing him to the match with the World Heavyweight Champion Triple H at WrestleMania 21, thus leaving Evolution officially turning face. Batista initially pretended that he would sign with SmackDown, giving Triple H and Rare the thumbs up, but turned it into a thumbs down before attacking the pair. He emphasised his departure by powerbombing Triple H through the table and used for the signing of the contract. Batista won the World Heavyweight Championship on April 3rd by defeating Triple H in the main event of WrestleMania 21. WrestleMania 21 received 1,009,000 pay-per-view buys worldwide, and then the highest number of buys on any non-boxing pay-per-view. Batista's match with Triple H was described as a sport journalist by Dave Meltzer as the peak of WWE's best storylines in years. Batista won the rematch with Triple H for the championship at Backlash. After Batista retained the title against Edge, he was betrayed by Ric Flair, who helped Triple H viciously attack Batista as Triple H challenged Batista to Hell in a Cell match at Vengeance. Batista won the match at Vengeance, retaining the title yet again. For the win, Batista became the first wrestler to pin Triple H at Hell in a Cell match. Batista was drafted to SmackDown brand as the last pick in 2005 draft lottery, making a surprise appearance to thwart John Layfield, who was celebrating the victory of six-man elimination to crown the inaugural SmackDown champion. This resulted in the Batista bringing the World Heavyweight Championship to SmackDown. JBL defeated Batista at Great American Bash by disqualification after the referee saw Batista use a steel chair. They had a rematch at SummerSlam and a no-holds-bar match in which Batista pinned JBL. The feud culminated in a Texas Bull Rope match, with Batista retaining his championship. Soon after retaining the title, he was feud with Eddie Guerrero at No Mercy. WWE.com reported that Batista suffered a muscle tear in his back at the taping of SmackDown due to a double chokeslam by Big Show and Kane. Plans had to be made for Batista to defend the title in a triple threat match with Eddie Guerrero and Randy Orton, but the match did not take place as Guerrero unexpectedly died. On the date of the taping, Batista paid homage to Eddie during the Raw and SmackDown tribute shows dedicated to Guerrero's memory. He led Team SmackDown against Team Raw in the interbrand feud before Survivor Series. The feud saw Big Show and Kane chokeslam Batista several more times the weeks leading up to Survivor Series. In an on-camera explanation for Batista's injury, he ultimately helped his team win the match at Survivor Series after Batista saved Mysterio from Big Show and Kane. On the episode of SmackDown leading to the match where Mysterio and Batista faced the Big Show and Kane at Armageddon. On December 18th, episode of SmackDown, Batista and Mysterio defeated the WWE Tag Team Champions M&M to win the titles in a match that they dedicated to Eddie. Thus, Batista became a double champion. After the clash, Big Show and Kane at Armageddon turned into a champions versus champion encounter. Batista and Mysterio lost to Big Show and Kane at Armageddon 2 weeks later. M&M defeated Batista and Mysterio after help from returning Mark Henry to gain the titles. During the interference, Henry attacked Batista and performed the world's strongest slam. The teams met again in a steel cage match that Henry also became involved in, and Batista and Mysterio defeated again. Batista tore his right tricep during the match with Mark Henry at the house show, forced him to vacate the World Heavyweight Championship at the SmackDown tapings. 2 days later, after surpassing Triple H's previous mark of 280 days for the longest reigning champion, in his book, Batista Unleashed, Batista said that he believed that Henry was careless during the match and he never gave Batista any warning to the move that the move was coming. Batista went on to have a successful surgery on his arm. Batista made an appearance at No Way Out and told the crowd that once his arm was healed, he would return to regain the World Heavyweight Championship. At WrestleMania 22, he interrupted Randy Orton in interviewing, putting SmackDown on notice that the World Heavyweight Championship would return to him by WrestleMania 23, and Batista made his official return on SmackDown, immediately calling out an interview with Mark Henry at Saturday night's main event. Lashley defeated World Heavyweight Champion King Booker, Finlay and Mark Henry Henry was legitimately injured and ruled out of the scheduled match between the two at Great American Bash, thus further delayed potential feud between the two after being delayed by Batista's initial injury. Batista put out an open challenge to replace the injured Henry, which was answered by Mr. Kennedy. At Great American Bash, Batista lost the match via disqualification for failing to stop choking Kennedy into a turnbuckle with his boot, but continued to attack Kennedy, resulting in lacerations on his forehead so severe that it exposed his cranium and required 20 stitches to close. Batista lost another match with Kennedy via countout. On an episode of SmackDown before finally defeating Kennedy by pinfall. On another episode of SmackDown, Batista faced Big Show for the ECW Championship. An episode of ECW, winning the match by disqualification but failing to win the championship, as titles cannot change by disqualification. He then set his sights on King Booker World Heavyweight Championship, with the two facing in a match title to advance 6 SummerSlam. However, Batista also won the match by disqualification. During the commercial shoot for SummerSlam pay-per-view, Booker T and Batista reportedly a legitimate fistfight, with Booker accusing Batista of considering himself superior to the rest of the roster due to his quick climb of the main event status. It was reported that some of the wrestlers on SmackDown brand agreed with Booker T. Batista continued his pursuit of the championship, failing to capture it once again in a fatal 4-way match at No Mercy, also involving Finlay and Bobby Lashley, before defeating King Booker to regain the championship at Survivor Series. The following month at Armageddon, Batista teamed John Cena to defeat King Booker and Finlay, putting their end to their rivalry. Going into 2007, Batista began to short feud with Kennedy over the championship. Batista retained the championship over Kennedy at the Royal Rumble. His next challenger was The Undertaker, the winner of the Royal Rumble match. The team formed a reluctant alliance to face John Cena and Shawn Michaels at No Way Out, which they lost after Batista turned on Undertaker midway through the match. At WrestleMania 23, Batista lost the World Championship to Undertaker. They continued their feud to the last standing match at Backlash, which ended in a draw, and the two wrestled again in a steel cage match, which also ended in a draw. Following the match, Edge took an advantage and won the title from Undertaker by cashing in the Money in the Bank contract. Afterwards, Batista challenged Edge unsuccessfully for the World Championship at Judgment Day. One Night Stand on June 3rd, and at Vengeance Night of Champions. The loss at Vengeance stipulated that Batista could no longer get another chance at the World Heavyweight Championship while Edge remained champion. Batista accepted the open challenge from the Great Khali at Great American Bash. Edge relinquished the title due to injury the week before the Great American Bash, and Khali became the new world champion, winning the Battle Royal and eliminating Batista. Batista and Kane, Edge's title opponent, faced Khali at a Great American Bash, a triple threat match where Khali retained. Batista received a disqualification victory against Khali at SummerSlam after Khali used a steel chair. Thus, Khali retained the title again. Batista finally claimed the third World Heavyweight Championship after 8 consecutive attempts by defeating Khali in a triple threat match, including Rey Mysterio Unforgiven. His first challenge was from Great Khali in a Punjabi prison match at No Mercy, where Batista retained the title. He won the match by leaping from the inner bamboo structure to the outer one, shortening his escape route. But beating Khali to the floor. After the return of The Undertaker Unforgiven, the duo reignited their feud at Cyber Sunday, where the fans chose Stone Cold as the specialist referee. Batista pinned The Undertaker after 2 Batista bombs. The feud continued a Hell in a Cell match at Survivor Series. During the match, Edge returned and interfered by giving Undertaker a concerto. He then pulled an unconscious Batista on top of The Undertaker for the pinfall to retain the World Heavyweight Championship. At Armageddon, Edge won a triple threat match alongside The Undertaker for Batista's World Heavyweight Championship. Batista appeared at the Royal Rumble and made the final 3 before being eliminated by Triple H. And No Way Out, he was part of the SmackDown Elimination Chamber match and eliminated Big Daddy V, but was the last eliminated by The Undertaker. At WrestleMania, he defeated Umaga in an An inter-promotional match after Shawn Michaels defeated Ric Flair in a career-threatening match, forcing Flair to retire that later that night. Batista began a feud with Michaels, calling him selfish and egotistical. The two faced off at Backlash. With Chris Jericho as special guest referee, Michaels won after faking a knee injury and performing Sweet Chin Music. Batista defeated Michaels at One Night Stand in a stretch match, thus ending their feud. On an episode of Raw, Batista was drafted to the Raw Band during 2008 WWE Draft. After failing to win the World Heavyweight Championship from Edge at Night of Champions, Batista attacked Edge the following night on Raw, allowing CM Punk to cash in the Money in the Bank contract to win the World Heavyweight Championship. This set up a title match between Batista and Punk at the Great American Bash, which ended in double disqualification after Kane interfered and attacked both men. Batista and Punk had a rematch. Batista won by disqualification after being attacked by JBL. As John Cena came to the ring to fight JBL, he inadvertently punched Batista as JBL ducked. This started a program between Cena and Batista leading up to SummerSlam, for which was made official by Raw General Manager Mike Admal. This was the first time the match between the two would occur, as they had been on separate brands since they both debuted in 2002. Batista and Cena won the World Tag Team Championships from Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase, making Batista a three-time World Tag Team Champion. Batista and Cena lost the championships to Rhodes and DiBiase the next week. After losing the titles, the two had to be separated by multiple officials. Batista defeated Cena at SummerSlam, legitimately injuring Cena's neck in the process. Batista then competed for the World Heavyweight Championship Scramble match at Unforgiven and was 8 seconds away from being four-time world champion, but Chris Jericho snuck in and pinned Kane in the waning seconds. Batista defeated Jericho for his fourth World Heavyweight Championship in a match with Stone Cold Steve Austin was voted as special guest referee. Batista regained, however, they only lasted 8 days when Jericho won the title back at a steel cage match on the 800th episode of Raw. Batista entered a feud with former Evolution partner Randy Orton at Survivor Series. Batista led the team of himself, CM Punk, Kofi Kingston, Matt Hardy and R-Truth to face the team of Randy Orton, Shelton Benjamin, William Regal, Cody Rhodes and Mark Henry. Orton's team won, with Orton pinning Batista, win the match for his team. His feud with Orton continued up to Armageddon, and Batista defeated Orton. Batista was put into a handicap match against The Legacy with John Cena as his partner. During the match, Orton struck Batista with a punt in the head. Batista was knocked out and put out of action indefinitely due to the storyline head injury. WWE.com later reported that Batista elected to go on undergo surgery to repair a hamstring tear. His hamstring was injured during SummerSlam, and in the same match that John Cena was forced out of action due to a neck injury. He was expected to be out of action for 6 to 8 months. Batista returned in 2009 on an episode of Raw to save Triple H, Shane McMahon, Vince McMahon from The Legacy. Vince McMahon then scheduled Batista to team up with WWE Champion Triple H and Shane McMahon to face The Legacy at Backlash. During the match, Batista had brought out a chair, but Triple H tried to stop him so they would not be disqualified. This distraction, however, cost Triple H his championship after he lost it to Orton. The following night on Raw, Batista won a singles match against The Big Show due to distraction by John Cena to become the number one contender at the WWE Championship at Judgment Day, which he won by disqualification. Batista went on to defeat Orton in a rematch of Extreme Rules in a steel cage match in the match to capture his first WWE Championship. Batista was to vacate the title due to a staged brutal attack by Orton and The Legacy, in which it was revealed that Batista suffered a legitimate tore left bicep, similar to the one he suffered in 2006. Legacy was given an on-screen credit for the injury. Batista returned on September 14th with his arm still in a vice. Randy Orton, assuming that Batista was retiring, claimed that he ended Batista's career. Batista removed his arm vice, which turned out to be fake, and attacked Orton. He then stated that he would not retire but moved to SmackDown instead. Later that night, he defeated Orton in a no-holds-barred match, which was his last match on Raw. Following his return to SmackDown, Batista defeated the Unified WWE Tag Team Champions Jerry Show in the singles competition. These two victories culminated in a tag match against Jerry Show with his partner Rey Mysterio at Hell in a Cell, which Jerry Show won. At bragging rights, Batista successfully won in winning the World Heavyweight Championship in a fatal four-way match, including CM Punk, Rey Mysterio, and the champion Undertaker. During the match, Mysterio broke Batista's pin on the Undertaker, cost him in the match and the title. After the match, Batista and Mysterio appeared patching things up, but Batista said that he was tired of coming so close only to be stabbed in the back, and told Mysterio that he was going to rip his head off, and Batista proceeded to brutally attack Mysterio, turning heel for the first time since 2005. Batista faced Mysterio at Survivor Series, where Batista won via referee stoppage after delivering 3 Batista bombs to Mysterio. Batista defeated Mysterio again in a street fight. At TLC, Batista faced The Undertaker for the championship in a chairs match. Batista initially won the match and the title, but SmackDown General Manager Theodore Long reversed the decision because Batista hit Undertaker with a low blow behind the referee's back. The match restarted, and with The Undertaker winning and retaining the championship. 5 days later, Batista lost to Mysterio in the number 1 contenders match. Mysterio's title match against The Undertaker ended in no contest after interference from Batista. At the Royal Rumble, Batista entered the Royal Rumble at number 30 but failed to win as he was eliminated by John Cena. Batista then became involved in the WWE chairman Vince McMahon and Bret Hart's rivalry, assisting McMahon to attack Hart. John Cena attempted to save Hart by but was assaulted by Batista. At Elimination Chamber, as a payment for Batista attacking Hart, McMahon allowed Batista to face Cena for the WWE Championship immediately after Cena won the title Elimination Chamber match. Batista won the match, and thus he had a second WWE Championship, which resulted in Batista moving back to Raw. At WrestleMania, Batista lost the championship to John Cena in a rematch, ending his reign at 35 days. Batista received his rematch for the title at a last man standing match at Extreme Rules, but was defeated by Cena after Cena duct taped his legs to around the ring pole, preventing him from standing up. Batista and Cena faced off once again for the championship at Over Limit, but he failed to regain the title from Cena in a quick match, quitting when Cena threatened to give him an attitude adjustment through the roof of a car. Cena did it anyway, throwing Batista through the car and through the stage below, throwing him off the car and through the stage below, and then the night on Raw, Batista opened the show in a wheelchair, claiming that he would be pursuing legal action against Cena for his injuries. And WWE as well. His promo was interrupted by Raw General Manager Bret Hart, who ordered him to face an injured Randy Orton to qualify for a shot at the WWE Championship against Cena. For the fatal 4-way pay-per-view, Batista refused and quit the company after Hart and named Orton the winner by forfeit. His profile was subsequently moved to the alumni. His page was moved on the website, and he later said in the interview that he left WWE because he did not like the direction it was going in. Batista made his return to WWE in 2014, despite returning as a face and winning the Royal Rumble. The live crowd reacted negatively towards Batista's win, as Darren Brody did not take part in the Royal Rumble. Rejected Batista in favour of Bryan and continued to boo him. After Roman Reigns was last eliminated, after the show went off the air, Batista mocked Bryan, gestured the middle finger to the crowd. According to Batista, he thought that returning the face was a bad idea because the fans were so invested in Bryan's Yes Movement storyline. At Elimination Chamber event on February 23rd and February 24th, Raw episodes of Raw, Batista heavily booed the fans during matches against Alberto Del Rio. This resulted in Batista turning heel on SmackDown and the main event of WrestleMania on April 6th. It was originally Batista versus Randy Orton, but was changed to a triple threat match after Bryan defeated Triple H at WrestleMania to qualify for the match at WrestleMania. Bryan forced Batista to submit to win the title. Batista and Orton teamed together to face the Usos for the WWE Tag Team Championship, but the match ended in double countout. Later that night, Batista and Orton, along with Kane, attacked Bryan before he was set to defend his title with Triple H. Before Triple H could defeat Bryan, the Shield interrupted, spearing Triple H and taking out Batista, Orton, and Kane, causing the match to end in a contest. Batista, Triple H, and Randy Orton came down to the ring to attack the Shield on after their 11-on-3 handicap match using the name and theme of Evolution. At both Extreme Rules and Payback, Evolution lost the Shield on June's second episode of Raw. Batista quit WWE after Triple H denied him a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. Batista legitimately quit WWE due to creative difference soon after. His second return, Batista reunited with the rest of Evolution for the appearance on the 1000th episode of SmackDown, where Batista teased a match with Triple H. As Triple H had never been beaten by Batista and Triple H in singles competition, the storyline between the two started on the 25th of February 2019, when Batista viciously attacked Ric Flair and repeatedly demanded, "Give me what I want," to Triple H, which became a popular phrase associated with Batista. At WrestleMania 35, Batista and Triple H would face each other in a no-hold bar match with Triple H's career on the line, but Batista lost after interference from Ric Flair. The next day, Batista announced a retirement from wrestling. On December 9th, 2019, WWE announced that Batista would be inducted to the Hall of Fame as part of the Class of 2020. The event was postponed because of COVID-19, and it was announced that Class of 2020 would be inducted alongside Class 2021. At the 2021 event, prior to the event, however, he was removed from the list. He tweeted to confirm that his removal was citing previous obligations as why he cannot attend the 2021 event. He also said that WWE honoured his request to induct him in the future at a future ceremony. Upon his return in 2014, Batista heavily booed by the crowd after winning the Royal Rumble despite being a heroic character. In an interview with WWE.com, he said the crowd's reaction, "It was weird. It wasn't like a normal response. It was almost like a personal attack. It had to do with the factors that were not in my control. Factors and things that were going on in the company with other people. Stuff that really had nothing to do with me. To me, it was a very little frustrating and a little confusing. And I don't want to say I completely took it personal, but I did somewhat. Fans' reaction caused storyline change, with Batista turning villainous. Wrestling legend Mick Foley opined Batista was simply the wrong guy at the wrong place at the wrong time. Unfortunately for Dave, his return happened to be part of this perfect storm. The night WWE fans wanted Daniel Bryan, the WWE Universe, to walk out as the winner of the 2014 Royal Rumble, and was still settled for nothing less. Batista was then declared the 50th greatest wrestling villain by WWE all time by WWE. An article in 2012, WWE has ranked him the second best world championship of all time. WWE advertised Batista being 6'6", tall, weighing 290 pounds, both of which are different from real life height of 6'4" and unknown weight. After leaving WWE, Batista attended Strikeforce Los Angeles 2010, having previously registered an interest in competing in MMA. 5 days later, he would be embarking on an MMA career. He became a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu under Cesar Gracie. Batista and Strikeforce agreed that on a price where they negotiated a contract. However, in 2011, Batista stated that negotiations fell through. The organisation was bought by the Zuffa Company. Batista is expected to make his MMA debut against Rashid Evans on October 6, 2012. Real pain in Providence, Rhode Island. However, Evans was forced out of the bout after probation violations landed him back in jail. Evans was replaced by journeyman 45 veteran Vince Larusso. Batista went on to win the fight by technical knockout at 4 minutes and 5 seconds in the first round. Batista has acted in several television shows, both himself and a wrestling character. He guest starred in the 8th episode of season 6 of Smallville as Alder, extraterrestrial who escaped from Phantom Zone, in which he sucks the bones out of people for nourishment. In 2005, he made a cameo appearance as himself in his Australian soap opera Neighbours. In 2010, he appeared in an episode of Chuck, and he also made a cameo appearance in Relative Strangers. He starred in 2010 action film Wrong Side of Town. Batista appeared in villainous brass body in Universal Studios film The Man with the Iron Fist, but is well known for his Drax the Destroyer in 2014 Marvel Studios film Guardians of the Galaxy, which is quickly became and commercial success. He played Mr. Higgs in the James Bond film Spectre. He's Oliver Liz Tong Po in the martial arts film Kickboxer Vengeance, and he's widely praised for supporting role in Blade Runner of 2049. He reprised the role of Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. 2018, he joined his castmates in support of the Guardians of the Galaxy director James Gunn after Gunn's firing over old tweets joking about paedophilia and rape. He called Gunn's firing nauseating and declared that he would ask to be recast in Disney if Disney, the parent company, Marvel Studios, did not use Gunn's script for the Guardians of the Galaxy. Gunn was reinstated as a film's director, and in May 2021 he confirmed that an upcoming Guardians of the Galaxy will be his final appearance as Drax. Bastita starred in Army of the Dead, and then he was villainous role in Dune, which was released to critical and commercial success. He also appeared in The Duke in Glass Onion: Nights of the Mystery, and starred in the M. Night Shyamalan's horror film Knock at the Cabin. He also appeared in Fancy Adventures Lost in the Lost Lands. Bastita appeared in covers of 2005 Flex, Muscle and Fitness for September 2008 alongside John Cena and Ashley Mazzaro. He appeared representing WWE in an episode of Extreme Makeover Home Edition, giving the kids and families of those who revenue WWE's merchandise tickets to WrestleMania 23. According to WrestleMania figure checklist, Batista had 171 action figures released in 2010s. Most were released in the mid-2000s by Jakks Pacific. He remained on his 2007 appearance on MTV Cribs. I was trying to collect my action figures, but I gave up. They were too many. In an autobiography, Batista was released. In an interview about it, he claimed, "I didn't want to tell my story unless it was honest. You have to go through 3 sets of lawyers. Simon Structure's lawyers, WWE lawyers, my lawyers, and everything now being the way it is, you can just be sued for the simplest thing." There was a controversy over his book mentioning Chris Benoit, a wrestler who killed his wife and strangled his son, and about whom other details removed from his book. "I love the guy, I despise what he did, but doesn't erase him from my life. I fought to keep him in there, and I'm glad they did." When he was asked about his ex-wife Angie, Batista says, "We have really become close again, in which we really haven't been in years. I really learned a lot about her and learned about me from reading the book. She actually saw things from a different perspective from reading the book, and so that was really different. Definitely therapeutic." Batista held a campaign to raise money for the Ovarian Cancer Research Alliance, as I said, because of Angie's ovarian cancer battle. During the week of November 5th, 2007, Batista appeared in Family Feud with the other WWE wrestlers. In 2008, he was a judge on an episode of IG Chef America, and with snails as the theme ingredient, along with Candice Michelle, Shelton Benjamin, and Josh Matthews, who represented WWE at the 2008 Democratic National Convention in an effort to persuade fans to register to vote for in the 2008 presidential election. He also appeared in MTV Cribs, showing that his house and cars. His first biographical DVD, Batista I Walk Alone, was released through the Ruby's Productions in 2009. A second DVD, Batista The Animal Unleashed, continued his life story, detailing his departure from WWE in 2010 and returned in 2014. He married his first wife in 1990, Glenda, and they had 2 daughters together, Kalani and Athena, before he divorced in 1998. Batista married his second wife, Angie, in 1998. They have a son together, Oliver, and divorced in 2006. Before the age of 40, he already had 2 grandsons through Kalani. In 2015, he married a competitive pole dancer, Sarah J. They separated in 2019. Batista was 6'4" and weighed around 275 pounds, and in August 2020, lay slimming down to 240. By September 2024, he had numerous tattoos, including a large dragon on his back, red kanji lettering on his upper bicep, which says Angel. in tribute to Angie, and his signature design on his upper bicep of a small sun on his abdomen, with which encircles his navel. He also has a tattoo on his arm, the flag of Greece and Philippines. While taking time off due to an injury in 2009, he had both upper arms covered in large tribal style tattoos. The phrase DC soldier added to his right bicep. He once had tattoos of his mentor on his arm, a logo associated with his former friend Manny. But he had it covered up with the sugar skull design after Manny had made homophobic remarks. Beginning in 2010, Batista began eating a mostly plant-based diet, or pescatarian diet. In 2021, he planned to go completely vegan in the near future. Batista has asthma. By his own admission, he used to hide inhalers in several places under the ring during his wrestling matches. As a baseball fan, Batista grew up following the New York Yankees, although he has since embraced Washington Nationals, who play the National Park blocks. Batista's childhood home. Batista supported Bernie Sanders in the 2020 Democratic Party presidential primaries. He endorsed Joe Biden and appeared in his ad for his presidential campaign. In 2024, Batista, who supported Vice President potential candidate Kamala Harris, from a video demeaning her opponent Donald Trump for Kimmel Live. So that's all I have for Batista. I do like his work in ring. I do think he could have a lot more potential if he stayed longer, because obviously in like wrestling, I think about how long they like consider a decent amount of time in wrestling. If you've been there for about 10 years, 15 years, that's considered when you become a veteran kind of thing. But obviously you've been there for like 8, obviously you've been wrestling for about 11. So he had a good career, but at the same time, the way wrestlers are now, how long they wrestle for, that is considered quite short. Because obviously you have people now who wrestle for like 20 odd years, wrestle for quite a while. You have like Terry Funk, who wrestled for like 30 odd years. Mick Foley wrestled for quite a while. So I think John Cena did as well. He wrestled for over 20 years. Randy Orton's still going, and he's wrestled for 24 years. 26 now. He started maybe a bit more. I think he's been in WWE for 24 years. So comparing it to people now, he had quite a short career in WWE, but he made quite a big impact for the bigger guys. Obviously, if, you can say what you think of him, who you want me to do next. I might do if you want me to redo a video, you just say, and I'll redo it, because obviously there's a couple I want to redo now. Because I don't really like the way it was, or I know I really want to try and get more views on some of them, because I did a Triple H one, and I did a Randy Orton one, and I think I want to redo them, and I wanted to redo the Hardy Boys one as well. Obviously I'm going to keep them up until I'm able to do that, or if I have to redo them. I hope you enjoyed this one.